Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy.
We give you the courtesy of conversation.
That's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. It's Uncommon Courtesy. I want to start off today with a U.S. soldier who's detained currently in Russia, or last week. U.S. Army spokesperson said in a statement, the soldier, Staff Sergeant Gordon Black, has been stationed in South Korea and traveled to Russia on his own and not on official business, according to 4 U.S. officials. He had finished his deployment and was heading back to the U.S. when he made a side trip to Russia to visit a woman he was romantically involved with. Officials said they added that he had traveled there without permission from his superiors and he's being held on pre-trial confinement. The soldier is accused of stealing from a woman, the official said, and it was not immediately clear if it was the same woman he was visiting.
Yeah, I watched something about that, and it was his mom was talking about it. And I guess he'd been talking to his mom about this lady he'd been seeing because he was on. I think he was in South Korea or something like that.
South Korea, yeah.
Yeah, he was a military officer based in South Korea. And so his mom, he'd been conversing back and forth with his mom about a woman he met. And so he's telling her about the woman. He's like, yeah, but we get into it a lot. We're arguing all the time. His mom's like, why are you with this woman? Then all of a sudden the woman gets deported out of South Korea for some reason. She was working at a bar or something, I guess, before. That's how he met her.
Yeah.
And she gets deported, and you know what do men do? You know, what I mean,
gonna go after that toxicity.
You know what I mean? He went up behind her, but I mean that would be the same thing if a woman fell in love with a man and something happened. They were that close. But the thing about it, though, we think about Russia, we're thinking that he went into Moscow. He didn't. He went into like a eastern part of Russia that it's like Siberia end of Russia, kind of that part of Russia. You know, the part that's near. Closer to North Korea. That's how big Russia is. But he went in there, and I guess they got into some kind of an argument. She said that he hit her and something, and then I guess he might have stole some money for her trying to go home. Who knows what happened? I don't know. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, he's in jail. His mom's saying that he thinks that the woman lied on him, blah, blah, blah. But this has been going back and forth with them for a while. He put himself in a bad position, but it's not like they went to go get him. He went over there. They wasn't probably even tripping.
And they said he didn't have no permission. So, I mean, he
probably wasn't tripping it. They probably wouldn't even care that he was there. He wouldn't have been getting it back and forth with the woman. So that's kind of on him.
Yeah, that toxic relationship, cha-cha, be the truth.
And you got to look at it like this, too. I mean, there's another person just got hit over there, too, in Russia for the same. I mean, not for that same exact thing, but just got caught over there, too. I guess it's like 4 people over there right now that we're trying to actively get home. But it's like the State Department's told everybody, don't go to Russia right now. Don't travel there. You know what I mean? And when I'm looking at the people who are going over there, I'm like, bro, what's wrong with you?
Just like when they told people don't travel to the Middle East, and that one person took their whole family, got captured by the Taliban.
Yeah, man, that's a tough one. I'm going to keep it real, man. Like, there's some places that I would go to like Afghanistan. I would go to Pakistan. It's kind of crazy that because I've watched videos and I've seen people that look like me and you go over there, and it's cool for them.
Yeah, but of course, they love them. It's not worth to kidnap us. They'll be like, we have hostages. Who you got? These 2 black guys. Hello? They hung up.
I mean, but I honestly think that our people come.
Wait, they called him back. No, they're not rappers. Wait, they hung up again.
Hey, I honestly think that America will come get us. You know what I mean? I do. I feel like that.
Nope.
You know, just not.
I doubt it.
Get off that subject, man. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Look what just happened in Mexico. We were just talking. You heard about the three.
That's Mexico.
Bro, it's the same thing, man. It's like
that's next door.
This is what I'm.
The
saying.
lady that went down there to go to BBL.
Okay, it all kind of coincides. Just another thing just happened. There's 2 Australian, or maybe 3 Australian guys. I don't know, but I know it's three bodies they found in Mexico. You heard about that?
No,
right?
I didn't hear about that.
It was like in Baja or something like that, where they're down there. Allegedly, they're surfers. Allegedly, this is a story they gave. You know that they're surfers. 2 of them were brothers, I believe, and they went missing. And then all of a sudden, the Mexican police find them inside of a well on this piece of property. But then they find a 4th body too, which is the owner of the property on this well. And I guess they got like a man and a woman in custody right now. For the murders of these people. You know, they think that the people probably murdered the guy whose property it was, dumped him down the well, and then found these guys, tried to steal their car or whatever, murdered them. But who knows? You know what? They had a story. Their friends came on the line. He's like, oh, man, they love surfing, blah, blah, blah. They were surfers. How do we know they weren't down there to something else?
Yeah.
We don't. But you know what we did? As soon as they found the BBL people on us, we accused them of being down there for drugs.
Yep.
That's the first thing we did. So we take things and we kind of almost run with them in a direction. I believe that. Look at Brittany Griner. They went to go get her.
Yeah.
They gave
that was political.
Dealer.
They had to go get
They gave an arms dealer to get Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
No matter what they gave, an arms dealer, bro.
Yeah, but at the height, that was like the LGBT thing. And they were like, we need to get her. And WNBA.
Let's not put it. I mean, I agree that she's a high profile
But she played herself. She brought drugs to Russia.
Exactly. And when they gave up an arms dealer to get her. So I do
a bad one too.
They're gonna. Yeah, he was a cold one.
Yeah,
I do believe they would.
You gave up missiles for a jump shot.
You feel me? Yeah, exactly. We can't always feel like they ain't gonna come get black people because we black.
No, I think Brittany Griner was a national figure basketball player. She was over there because she wasn't making enough in the WNBA, which goes to another topic of women not making the same amount of money as men, which is the same issue they're having right now with Caitlin Clark that's going on because the WNBA.
That's saying, different.
They ain't coming to get uncommon courtesy.
That's different, bro.
They ain't coming to get us. They be like, live stream from there, suckers.
Listen, man, I honestly think they might.
Don't let the blade cut too slow.
I mean, I ain't gonna say it's gonna be as fast as her. We might have to do a few of them years. You know what I mean? She only had to do 9 months.
Yeah, she got 9. If I got to do a couple years, I live there now.
They gave her. I think they gave her 13 years or something like that. She only did like 9 months.
She had to cut her hair off because it kept freezing.
I mean, if you want to get into the whole thing about
they ain't coming for us. We're gonna be like Martin and Eddie Murphy in life. We're gonna have to plot our own way out. I'm dead serious. They ain't coming for us.
They ain't coming to get us. Yeah, hey, they gonna have to. We gotta make the show big enough where they gotta come get us.
Yeah, they
gotta come see
about us. They ain't coming to get it. It don't matter how big we are. It don't matter. They ain't coming to get us.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
I can hear everybody. What are the dumbasses doing over there anyways?
Hey, they said that about whoever else was over there too.
Brittany Griner was over there making money.
She was tripping. She tripped. She should have been trying to, you know what I mean? Yeah. She was probably just trying to bring her little pin over there to get high. So she probably didn't know nobody to get the weed from, whatever the case may have been. But I wouldn't have did that. She probably did it hella times before this, but they knew she probably did it. Yeah. They snatched her up. They
just checked. They knew who she was, and she was a high profile, so they just figuring something out.
13 years. You know what I'm saying? But
13 years, and everyone over here, 13 years for marijuana. Yes, 13 years for marijuana.
Years for a pen, for a marijuana pen.
Yes.
Another thing that happened today. Stormy Daniels
finally got on the stand.
Took the stand in the Trump case today.
Yeah,
they said Daniels took the witness stand. Some of the jurors, they said when they said her name, Stormy Daniels, some of the jurors started like kind of smiling and smirking. They don't call her by her government name, but she likes to be called Stormy Daniels, which is not a bad name actually. You know what I mean?
Did they start the cheesy music? Bow, wow, wow. They don't do that in court, huh? No,
they don't do that. They said Trump was also in the courtroom when they started talking about the more salacious aspects of the case. He started looking down. This is Trump's son. I'm sorry about that. Eric Trump was in the courtroom as well when they started talking about the more salacious parts of the case. I guess he just went and started looking down at his phone when they started talking about what his dad was in there doing, which I don't know why they're bringing all that into the case, but they did that. They did. She said she met Trump at a golf tournament. When she was first asked, would she have dinner with Trump? She said, F no. She was like, I don't want to have dinner with him. This is allegedly that she said no to having dinner with Trump. But I guess she eventually ended up giving his bodyguard her number so he could give it to Trump. And I guess they were supposed to end up having dinner, but she ended up going back to just having dinner at his hotel suite. But she got there and there was no dinner. Trump was like, okay, we cutting the dinner part out. Going straight back to the room and just, going sit down and just and talk for a while. So I guess they talked for a few hours and, she'd been going back and forth to the bathroom. But one time she came out the bathroom, I guess he was sitting there, laying there in like his boxers and just, laying out on the bed. Like, like, what's up? It's about that time. So, and I guess she said she walked toward the door to try and leave and he stood up in front of her. But she said she didn't feel like a pressure into doing anything, like it was a threat or like any kind of like, she didn't, he was just like, don't you want to be on the Celebrity Apprentice? He said he told her he told her that he'd even help her get on the show, and then he'd tell her about kind of the challenges that were coming, like the different games they played. Yeah. He'd give her like
so she can get further.
She can get further in the game. He's fed her this line, and she went for it, and then they ended up doing whatever they did, and so I guess they stayed in touch for a while after that, and he kept on kind of reeling her along with, hey, I'm gonna get you on the Apprentice. I'm working on getting you on the show, this, that, and third. And then she found out that she wasn't getting on. I guess that's when they
announced the cast and whatever. Yeah,
they parted ways. They stopped talking. But I guess she said that a big thing that he kept on asking her was about like, do you got any? What do you guys? Since she's a porn star, what do you guys do for protection? He was just kept on talking to her about that, and she told him, I'm tested this many times, blah 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 blah. Because I guess he didn't want to use a condom. He just was like, I'm cool. I don't want to use condom. This ain't the first time. The other lady, I forget her name. She said the same thing about him. Like he doesn't like to use condoms. He don't want it, so he did what he did. And I guess, that was a pretty big deal to her, I guess, after the fact because of the business that she's in.
Yeah.
But,
because they gotta get tested constantly.
Yeah.
Because it's weird even when you watch porns and they got condoms on, you're like, why? What you doing that for? What's wrong with him?
Hey, I'm like, man, when I look at it, man, it's just, I wonder how much her testimony is really going to affect, this case.
His case, I mean, her testimony is key to the case, but I mean, they got it right here. Saying a bulk of those monthly 35,000 checks sent to Cohen during Trump's first year as president came out of his own personal checking account. So he was paying Michael Cohen to pay her.
Yeah, this is what the whole thing is being said. I get this is what Michael Cohen is stating. He's like, he gave me, like, instead of giving me 130,000, he ended up giving him 400,000 to pay for this, and then some other stuff he had paid to pay off for him, and then some other.
I mean, who else? I mean, those aren't the only two porn stars he's sleeping with. There was more.
Absolutely, there was more.
So
why do we care? I'm like, why do we? I'm not,
because I guess he used it as campaign money.
What? You know what I mean? So what? So what he uses?
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of weird. Like, but I mean,
you're not allowed to use because. I think
it goes to a bigger picture.
Charging him with that though. That's the thing. They're not even charging him with campaign finance and anything like fraud or anything like. They're not charging him with that.
Yeah,
he's being charged with like something totally different. That has nothing to do with him stealing campaign.
What about swaying an election?
I mean, the biggest charge that he has is like a misdemeanor, man. And then the only reason it becomes a felony is because they're stating that from that crime related was another crime, which was the actual use of to interfere with an election to not like let information out because of an election. That's how they're trying to get to the bigger crime of the felony. So the original crime you're really charging him with is a misdemeanor.
Well, I mean, this crime, like I said before, this crime adds up to the other crime because it shows that you tried to sway an election in the beginning. And then at the end, I'm saying it's a bigger conspiracy.
I mean, but they're reaching, bro. You see you look at the other case that they just had with them with the documents. They postponed that one. They've said basically, we're not going to try that one before the election. They're pretty much just giving up on that one. And then you got the Fannie Willis case. I don't know where that's sitting.
Yeah, I don't know where that's going either.
So with this case, man, I almost feel like we're making him stronger.
What's the
one dude who had to collect all the rings? What's the one dude?
Thanos.
It's pretty much like we're giving.
But he collecting porn stars.
Whatever.
He'd be like, now I just need Jenna Jameson.
You're stupid, bro.
I'm saying.
Hey, another thing. Officers served warrant on a home in Charlotte, North Carolina. I know you guys probably heard about this already. It was the 4 officers that got killed in Charlotte, North Carolina by his name was, what was the guy's name? Josh? No, wait. The guy's name was Terry Clark Hughes Jr. He's the one who killed 4 officers. 2 of them were, I guess, DOC officers, which is Department of Corrections officers. One of them was a U.S. Marshal, and another one was a CMPD, which is like a Charlotte Metro Police Department officer. And I guess he shot 4 others. They were coming there to serve to serve a warrant on them for like a gun charge or something. Kind of coincidentally. And when he got there,
this is in Philadelphia, right?
No, this is in Charlotte.
Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah, correct.
And so when they got there, I saw the video of the house, and when they got there, he's sitting there, kind of almost like if you were to come to someone's front door and the window's right above the front door. He's sitting there like with a vantage point. We can shoot down on him. They're all probably knocking on his door, like, "Please open it." There's DOC officer because he's on some kind of probation or some
Department
kind of
of Corrections.
Parole. Yeah, the Department of Corrections coming. What they'll do is they'll send the Department of Corrections in there with the police so they can go right inside of his house. They don't have to have any kind of a real warrant.
So they take your parole officer because he can come in there and check anytime he wants. So they can basically just harass you whenever they feel like it.
Exactly. And I guess this dude, this is not to praise him or anything like that, but he probably figured, I'm already going. If you come in here, I'm probably already going to the joint. He already knew he was.
Yeah, and depending on his record, he probably wouldn't have got out. See no time soon. Just like that one guy that jumped over the stand and jumped the judge.
Man, he's cooked. They try to charge him with murder for a minute.
I heard all them charges because they had the one judge that he jumped, come back, finished the thing like she was all tough. Then they brought in the next lady, and man, she started hitting him with all these charges. They was just bringing up stuff.
They had to, man.
It's like when you watch the NFL game. It's like the NFL game, and that ref calls some crazy play you ain't never heard a day in your life. That's the charges they was hitting him with.
That's crazy, man. It's almost like they got 2 people. I guess there was a woman and a child involved at the house when this happened. Yeah. And what they were trying to say was they felt like it was more than one person shooting, which it probably wasn't. It was probably just him because I guess he had like an assault rifle, a handgun, then he had a bunch of probably clips and bullets, and he was just.
I mean, depending on the way you're moving around your house, you can make it seem like there's more than one people.
Basically, was going from this window to the other window right here and just shoot. And I mean, once you saw 4 bodies. that scares everybody. I'm gonna be honest. That's gonna shake up anybody.
Especially when you see a badge, when they got badges in his 4 bodies.
I mean, you see your partners in his 4 bodies. You know what I'm saying? You see a friend of yours that you know laying there. They're dead. You see any 4 people you see dead, you're like, you don't know. And if you were to watch any, like the video that I saw, he was getting off.
Oh, they have a video of it?
I mean, they don't have the video of him. They probably got the video of them killing him. Who knows? They ain't gonna show it. But they got the video of him getting off with the other police. They're like pinned down behind cars. He getting off like.
Yeah. But that's just like the one dude in Philadelphia, man. He fired like over 1,000 some odd rounds. And he was he was an informant for the feds, and he was dumping at him. It was like he was at for like 12 hours.
He wasn't playing. I mean, they said this dude was shooting for hours, and they ended up killing him out front of his house. But they're like, we think it was more than one shooter. I mean, I feel like they're just trying to pin a crime on one of the other 2 people who were in the house at this point in time. You know how they do that.
Or they want to just get some revenge so they can go around and harass everybody in the neighborhood.
They already killed him. You know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is, we killed him. This goes back to the fact when you're saying like how the judge, now they're tacking on more crimes. This is what they do. They'll kill you. I mean, he might even gave up, but he wasn't going home. No matter what happened, he wasn't going home. No. It's like the one dude who killed the cops in Seattle we talked about. No matter if he gave up or not, he could have walked into the police station with his hands in the air. They was going to kill him. No matter what happened, he was dead. Period. And we know this. This is how it plays out every time. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of how I look at it. It's a messed up thing that it happened. But the way that the law's built in this country, a lot of times, people the police get away with a lot. They just do. I'm not trying to say they shouldn't have killed this man or this man.
Yeah, Maurice Clemens. My bad. Maurice Clemens, it was in Lakewood where he shot the 4 cops.
Mm-hmm. At the Fritz, was it the Fritz?
No, the coffee shop. There's a coffee place.
Called Fritz or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, they were sitting there having breakfast. And he came in there and he shot the 4 cops. One of them got off on him and shot him. Mm-hmm. But they all died. And then, he used his sister's car, and then it's got something from his cousin. And so the police rolled up on him. Parked the cars backwards, killed him, stripped him in the street, and took pictures of him. And since they killed him, they charged his sister and his cousin, and they both got 13 years for aiding and abetting.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they. I mean, if someone comes to your house and it's your family member and they're bleeding, what are you going to do? You're going to probably help them, no matter what. You're going to help them. It's your family. You know what I mean? At the end of the day,
depending on what they did.
You know what I mean, man.
I'm not even going to ask because I don't even want to be a part of it.
If they shot and they bleed.
They shot and they bleeding, yeah, it's cool.
I'm not talking they come there, got scratches on their face, blood. They might have just took something from somebody. You know what I mean? That's different. You know what I mean? There's a different situation. We're going to have to look at it like, what's going on with you? But I'm talking about like if he's shot, what you going to do? He's like, I can go to the hospital. I can't go to the hospital. This is one of your people. Yeah. They don't understand like where we are, where we come from already. It's already a thing. We don't trust y'all just like, you know what I mean? Just like y'all don't trust us. It's one of those things. You're going to help your family. This goes for anybody though.
Yeah.
Anybody's going to help their family member unless you just hate your family member. And that's just what it is. You're going to help them. And more than likely, if they would have been like, hey, he just took my keys, this, that, and the third, I didn't help him. He had a gun. I just done it. Why didn't you call the police? Man, I was scared. He told me he was going to kill me. It wasn't going to matter. You're getting 13 years.
You're getting 13 years.
We're giving you this time no matter what happens because we're angry. Period. And especially because we're angry and it's y'all. You know what I mean? I know we talk about that a lot. And this is probably becoming more like you guys are two angry black men kind of a show, but
no,
it's
we're
not.
just pointing out the obvious.
Look at the facts.
This is just what it is. Like, we're not angry about nothing. It's just the natural obvious. It's weird how I drive around and I see people with their taillights out and I be like, ooh, I get nervous. But, speaking of stuff about court, before we end here, I remember Trump was saying that, first of all, the gag order stuff, they said one more time. He's supposed to go, they ain't going to send him to jail. But he was telling everybody, he's like, I'm not allowed to go to my son's graduation in Florida. And the judge was like, all right, you can go. He's like, for sure. Yo, set up that thing I need to go do in Minnesota. Do you think he's going to go to his son's graduation? You think he can make it?
We were just haggling back and forth. Not before we go. We were just haggling back and forth about that. He could make it.
Yeah.
I think that Minnesota is probably 2 hours behind Florida.
So Trump was asking the judge if he could go to his son's graduation. And on the same day, he's been scheduled to be a speaker at a Republican speaking event in Minnesota. And so, there's a 3-hour flight. So the son's graduation starts at 10
in the morning.
So, yeah, and he's supposed to go it says Trump could use his private jet to attend both Barron's graduation and the Minnesota dinner, assuming his son's graduation isn't later in the day. Regardless, the Minnesota Republican Party is happy to have Trump as a guest.
So if it starts at 10, he can make it. I don't see why he couldn't. I mean, if he doesn't make one, then we'll see which one he doesn't make.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day,
do you think he can make both, though?
Yeah, I think he's going to make both. I don't think he's going to stay. I think they'll accommodate him to get him in and out of there. He was a former president. I mean, honestly, if I'm coming here and I'm a former president, no matter if you like me or not.
Yeah, I'm a
if
former
I'm coming
president.
Here, I'm a former president. You're going to accommodate me, make sure that it can be a safe in and out for me. Here, let's move his son up instead of it being you being at the end of the line. Let's put you a little bit closer here. You know what I mean? Move his son up and just.
Well, actually, let me think about it. It goes alphabetically. Yeah, T's kind of at the end.
At the end, that's what I'm saying. That's why they probably move him to the front of the line, closer to the front of the line, just to get him out the way so the president can get in and get out. And I think that would be it would make sense. We'll see if he does make it. I do want to talk about one other quick thing before we go here, which is the Hamas did accept Israel. I mean, it wasn't even Israel's deal. It was Egypt and Qatar's deal. They made a peace deal. Egypt and Qatar. I'm not sure how I'm not sure if they took elements of the original peace deal that was out there for Hamas and put them together. But this is kind of what Hamas was asking for. They said that the deal is kind of like three phases. They said they want Israel to remove itself from heavily populated areas of Gaza. They also want they basically want them out of Gaza completely. They said they want 33 hostages released for Israel. They said they'll release 33 Israeli hostages. And it's basically like 30 Palestinian prisoners for each Israeli hostage that they're trying to release. Because I know that sounds like a hell of a disparity when it comes to things, but Israel probably has way more hostages, Palestinian hostages, than Palestine had or Gaza. Hamas has Israeli hostages because they went and when they raided Gaza, basically they were just taking people. As prisoners. Like, oh, you did this. We think you could have did this. They're just taking you now. You're no longer. It's not even like it's a hostage situation at the end of the day. You're not even real prisoners. You're like, okay, you're an able-bodied man of military age. We're taking you.
Yeah,
let's go.
Well, then also a report came out says Hamas says it's agreed to the ceasefire proposal, but Israel strikes Rafah anyways and says the deal's far from meeting its demands.
Yeah, because it was a different kind of the second phase of the deal was Israel will completely withdraw from Gaza. Hamas will return Israeli soldiers they took. Third phase of the deal is exchange all remaining, basically they have bodies too of each other's bodies. They really want to remain. They want their remains, and also a reconstruction plan for Gaza. They're saying like all three of these things would take about 6 weeks apiece, which would add up to about 5 months. Of them having some type of a peace deal. But Israel immediately said no. They said they didn't strike Rafah. They said they just took the Rafah crossing, which is like they took control of the Rafah crossing on the Hamas side. So they're like, okay, look, we're going to make sure you guys can't get any more weapons in here. We're going to make sure you guys, any supplies, we're the ones who are going to make sure they're coming through. If the Americans want to bring supplies, they're going to meet up with us. You guys aren't going to have the other side of this crossing anymore.
Yeah. Now they're like, I'm looking at it like this. They're like, look, we done killed so many people now and ain't nobody done nothing about it. Why stop now?
I think if that's what, they did drop out 100,000. They dropped out a bunch of pamphlets in the air and told like basically the refugees, you guys need to leave. Like I told us like 100,000 refugees from a certain part of Rafah, like you guys need to leave. But America's like, look, we're not supporting you on this. And I guess they're saying that Biden stopped some of the aid from coming in, like the weapons from coming there. Like, hey, look, man, I've already told you not to do it. I can't come out here and keep on. You can't keep making me look weak.
No, he's already looking weak. He was just at the college, bigging him up, trying to compare the Holocaust to to Hamas. And I'm like, nah, bro, that's totally different. Because now they the Nazis.
Yeah, absolutely. He what he's saying is, I heard him say this too. He said something about let's not forget about what Hamas did, which is true. You know what I mean?
We're not forgetting about what they did, but look, it's overkill at this point. You done proved your point. They're not even fighting back.
I understand what you're saying. This is not me disagreeing. You know what side of this I'm on. I've been speaking this from the whole time, but at the same time, who is to say? Because when it happened to us, what did we do? I didn't want to, me personally, and I wasn't, I'm only one person. There's millions of us. But at the end of the day, Afghanistan was cool. But going to Iraq, a lot of us probably didn't want to do. Like, man, we're going to Iraq for it. But we went in there and we killed millions of people.
In Iraq, yeah. No, we were supposed to go to Afghanistan. Then when we went to Iraq, I was like, why are we in there again?
There's nothing to do with Iraq. But that's what I'm saying to you. Like, we killed a lot of people. I'm watching Fox News. They're like, oh, yeah, they're comparing this to like, oh, well, when America did this, no one told us that we couldn't go in there.
That's true. That's true. America know about some genocide.
We killed a lot of people.
Killed a lot of people.
That's what I'm kind of saying, man. Like, who's to tell these people that it's overkill? Are we? If we were us, would we leave terrorists or whatever you want to say, possible people who can come back and strike us.
No, people still mad that we left Afghanistan.
Afghanistan isn't Mexico, right? Or Canada. You know what I'm saying? They're not right on our border. Like, so there's a lot of distance between us and them. Gaza and Hamas is right there inside the country. You know what I mean? Like, you're leaving a whole bunch of people who can come back and possibly do this again. And you've left millions of other people who they can recruit now, who ain't going to forget this no time soon.
Yeah.
There's going to be generations to talk about this.
Oh, yeah.
You affect probably everybody that lives in Gaza, not just from displacing them, but from people who they know who are dead, probably seen dead bodies, everything.
Do you feel like they should send in, like, kill teams like Donald Trump planned to do?
What do you mean?
Because Donald Trump said if he wins his second term in November, Donald Trump wants to covertly deploy American assassination squads into Mexico soon after he's sworn into office again.
I think that'll cause a war. Not even saying a war. Let me not go that far because Mexico doesn't want a war with us, but that'll just cause conflict. To me, why would you do something like that?
Well, for him, it's he wants to invade the Mexico response to America's fentanyl crisis.
I mean, at the
he
end
feels
of the
like
day,
they're waging war. They're letting the fentanyl come in, but it's about supply and demand.
Exactly.
If people weren't hooked on fentanyl, they wouldn't be bringing it in.
Why are we not looking at it from our side of the fence? Why are people doing drugs? What's going on in our economy? Why don't we look at education and things like that? Like, instead of saying let's put together strike forces, let's put together education forces.
Well, there's a reason a cheeseburger is cheaper than a salad.
You feel what I'm saying? And this is common sense stuff that we're talking about. All this is just bravado, man. That's why I don't deal with him, because he's all about bravado. It's all about, what would you do? They ask him, what would you do in Ukraine? Oh, well, I just want to stop people from dying. We know what you're talking about, man.
Well, at the end of the day, man, he's looking stronger than Biden right now.
He's looking stronger than Biden,
and that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot.
How do you think that?
Because Biden is bowing to another nation.
Man, you know what?
Prove me wrong.
Is Trump not? Is Trump not bowing to?
I haven't seen it.
He said the same exact thing about Israel.
Which presidential candidate is going to be America first and stand up for American beliefs? That's who's going to get my vote at the end of the day. Because I don't live in Israel.
And this is what I'm saying.
I don't live in Israel. I'm just saying. I live in the United States of America.
Me too. I have not seen. This is not me defending Biden, but I'm saying I have not seen any of them like going against Israel. I haven't seen none of them do that.
Yeah.
Have you?
No, because they won't show it on the news. No way, because they own it all.
I mean, he's talking about we're with Netanyahu, this, that, and the third. I think Republicans are more lockstep. They wouldn't go against Israel way before a Democrat would. I think Democrats have we're not going to go against them either. Not saying we as but I would.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would have been told them this is a wrap, bro. You need to cut this out. This is done. And if you don't, then we're stopping this, and this. There's a big reason why they don't. And it's a lot of it has to do with their constituencies. Other Democrats. Imagine if Joe Biden was to cut off aid to Israel right now. What do you think would happen to a lot of his House members? They'd lose funding. They wouldn't be able. They're running for. Everybody in the House of Representatives is running for their seat this November. Yeah. They are like, man, these people about to give me $500,000. I need that. Joe.
But I'm saying, like, the whole thing is now it's like we can't stop protesting and speaking about what's going on. I'm not, because we're dealing with vengeful and spiteful people right now.
And I'm all about it. You know how I feel about it. I feel like there should be a two-state solution. I feel like they shouldn't even be in there in the first place. But okay, they're there. This is what it is.
Yeah.
Period. Two states. Go back to the borders that were in 1940, 1949, or whatever the case may be. Take it back to the borders that were back then. Let's make this happen. Put together a peaceable Gaza.
Yeah.
Rebuild it. Give them an opportunity. At the same time, I don't want to see. Israel's there, bro. We can't take it away.
Yeah, no, I'm not to say take it away or nothing like that. But I'm just saying stop the killing. But what am I to say? Like, I live in America. We know who controls everything.
We see who control everything, and it's not. We see who. Man,
and it ain't our people in charge.
It ain't our people in charge, man. Somebody's in charge of them, man.
Yep. Let us know what y'all think. Like, listen, subscribe, share, hit that bell right there. This is Uncommon Courtesy.